Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review, and we're looking at a very interesting knife. This is an unusual knife. We'll get into the details here. This is the Nishida Shidogami, or white paper number 1 polished Deba 180mm knife. And as mentioned, the core steel on these is Shidogami, or white paper number 1 reactive carbon steel from Hitachi. And this is a very pure carbon steel. It would take a really wicked, sharp edge. A lot of people get white number 1 or Shidogami number 1 specifically because they like to sharpen and they want something that they can get stupid sharp, and this will do that. Heat treat is around 6061 Rockwell. These are done by hand, so that's what they shoot for. The construction is, these are polished, so I'll try to keep the reflections down a little bit, but you can see they're highly polished. The construction is a soft iron cladding over the top of that white number 1 core steel. You can see it peeking through there at the end. So this is a 3-layer sandwich on these. And the core steel and the cladding are reactive. So there's no stainless on these, and the cladding can be quite reactive. So you'll have to kind of manage your patina or staining on these a bit. They definitely need to be wiped down and kept dry when not in use, and maybe polished occasionally to clean up the patina. But what's unusual about this, it's a full-on Deba as far as thickness goes at the spine, but it's not a single bevel. It's a double bevel Deba with a full-on thick grind, so it's very unusual. We'll get a close-up look at it, but this is a beast. It is 382 grams, or 13.5 ounces, so, you know, it's a 180 Debas are big and heavy. The edge length is right about 180 on this. It'll vary a little bit from knife to knife, and the overall length is about 13 inches. The spine thickness on this one coming out of the handle is 8.5 millimeters. Yes, 8.5 millimeters, and it kind of thins down. I'm not going to call it really a distal taper. It's not what these are about, but it thins down a little bit as you go, and then as you get to the very tip where the grind starts, you can see that last half an inch. You thin down to the very tip, which is pretty skinny right at the tip. Height is pretty generous, which is typical of a Deba. It's 50.7 millimeters on this sample, and the handle is just a good, nicely finished oval ambidextrous rosewood handle with a black packerwood ferrule. Handle circumference is a bit bigger, which is kind of standard on these types of knives, so it's about 85 millimeters where the ferrule meets the wood. Let's take a close-up look at this thing. These do have kanji on them. I believe it's a little smaller than I'm used to and maybe a slightly different style. I think it's hand chiseled. But you can see the blade there. You can see the polish on that. These have a pretty durable finish on them despite the polish, which is pretty nice, because sometimes polished blades are just immediately showing everything. You can definitely see the core steel. So this is the left side of the blade, which has a, a shinogi line and a primary blade road, and so does the right side of the blade. So this is not a true single bevel. Let's look at it from the choil shot, and you can easily see that. So you can see it thins down on both sides. So very unusual Deba. I'll put it on a cutting board just in case, but that's not normally what you're going to do with these. Fit and finish is nice on this. The spine's relieved, the choil's relieved a bit. Out of the box edge, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. So this you're going to sharpen in a traditional double bevel manner. So, it's got a small, kind of a standard knife bevel on the edge. So you'll just kind of, until you get to thinning the thing, you'll just sharpen it like a normal double bevel. So you could definitely get this thing super sharp. Here's your profile, just in case you might get a hankering to do something other than processing fish. Which is the primary purpose of this. But kind of a gentle overall profile. Not going to spend much time on that. But balance point, again, not as big a deal on this style of blade, but it's up there in front, as you might expect. So definitely in front of your pinch grip. This is a big, heavy blade, but pretty cool blade. Again, highly unusual for this style of knife, so really cool. So there you have the Nishida Shidogami number 1 polished Deba 180mm knife.